Good evening, Circle of Tradespeople. Travis Wallstein with Wallstein Plumbing and Air Serve Heating and Air Conditioning, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Welcoming you on a wonderful Thursday evening. Sunny. It's not humid, which for the heating and air conditioning business sucks. But it's June. It's nice out. And tonight I had the opportunity to have somebody that is a local tradesman. And the more I get to know this guy, the more I get to like this guy. I don't know if he's a Husker fan, so I don't know if we can get along or not. But Rick Graybill, Rick, how you doing tonight?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. So, as we talked earlier, a little bit ago, we got a mutual friend kept us together. He's a Falcons fan. He sniffed a lot of lead paint. His name's Todd. So, Todd Studer. So I'm sorry that you know him, just like I know him.
Drives a V6 Challenger.
Yeah,
Damn it.
It's like I don't know. I guess he doesn't drive a Ford, so I guess if you're a Ford guy, so
no, he's all right in my book just for that reason alone.
I'm obviously in the HVAC business, and we're plumbing too, but your business, Fox Fabrication, didn't know a lot about it, but as I've got on your website tonight and tell me, as we were talking here a little bit earlier, tell us a little bit about your background. What the heck got you into this? And the floor is yours, Rick.
Yeah. I got started in industrial maintenance. I was actually traveling the country building Walmarts, Lowe's, Home Depots because I was a union carpenter. And then just got in with a general contractor, and they were sending me all over the place. And I almost missed my grandpa's funeral. And that's when it was like they weren't wanting to let me come home. So I just walked away. From that, which could have been pretty lucrative. But I never really felt like it fit in there. So my buddy called me and goes, "Hey, you're good at turning wrenches. Why don't you come be a maintenance mechanic, industrial maintenance?" Okay. So it was about a decade of that, and nobody wanted to teach me how to weld. If you knew welding, you were somebody.
Yes,
and
you were.
They really just kept that close to home. They were the gatekeepers. And well, if I teach you and you're better, then there's no reason for me to be here. Mm-hmm. So I just started watching the guys and writing down the thickness of the steel of what I thought it was. I didn't know gauges at the time.
Yep.
And I would work alone doing PMs on Sundays. So I would hop on the TIG welder and stainless steel. So that's actually how I learned was stainless steel TIG welding.
Okay.
And I was just mimicking them. And then I got a letter one day, or a work order, and it was for welding, and I was alone, and the lead man didn't really like me anyway, so I think he was setting me up to fail. I've been practicing for 2 years. So rainbow weld, dude, I killed it. And he comes in, he's scratching his head, and that's how I got my start, and that's when people's their eyebrows kind of started going up, and that's how it started.
Where did you work industrial maintenance here in Omaha, Council Bluffs?
Yep. So I started in Tyson Foods here in Council Bluffs. And then I went on to Mariana. And then Sergeant's Pet Care, and then D&D Foods after that. I spent about 5 years at D&D, and that was all I was doing for the most part is turning wrenches and welding. And then I ended at Future Foam. I broke my ankle. It was pretty bad. And I knew I kind of wanted to get out of the trades. At 40, your body just ain't really holding up anymore.
Yeah.
And I left there, got into sales for a minute. And
that sucks.
And it's for a company. I'll tell you afterwards who it was. You can find their website. Very huge company, but they do this thing of forecasting, which I can never get behind. Yeah, because if I sold you 100%, if your budget in their eyes was $100 and I sold you $100, then the next quarter, well, how are you going to sell them 115% of that?
Oh yeah,
and you make up these fake numbers that you'll probably never achieve. So then that affects your pay, and it drops your pay down. Going, well, you said 115. But you only came in at 80%. It's like, well, the numbers have changed. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, but they'd stick you for it. So,
Yep.
oh yeah, gotta love that. So,
Yeah.
but so Fox Company, talk us about it. Talk about the name because it sounds like the name has some. I don't know, if it's got a family deal or just something you came up with.
Yeah.
But
No,
talk
it's
about the name and what you're doing there. So,
yeah. So the name came actually, and if you're from this town, you probably knew my grandpa, the Silver Fox. Silver
yeah,
Fox, the floor covering business. That was my
yeah,
grandpa. So I started working with him or getting to go to jobs. I wouldn't even say I was working. 8, 9 years old. I was going hanging out, just
yeah.
messing shit up,
Go hang with
causing
Grandpa
more
for the day.
causing
Yep.
more work for everybody, I'm sure. But
Mm-hmm.
um, so when he passed away in '08, I was on the road. It was like, man. So that's when I got the tattoo. So really, all
Sure.
of this is I couldn't keep doing floor covering. I had a pretty
Yeah.
good idea of it, but that was just our thing. Um,
Uh huh.
So it was just a tip of the hat to him, and I wasn't going to
Mm-hmm.
do spot on Silver Fox,
Mm-hmm.
because that's him, that's his thing. That him, my
Yep.
uncle, my dad.
Sure.
Um, so, but yeah, that's how we got the name. It changed a few times because like, maybe I'll do there's like a number variation, and then Fox, and it was like it got all too complicated too quick. I was like, dude, FoxCo Fab, it's perfect.
Yeah, there you go. It's simple. It's there. If you put FoxCo, all one word, if you just type in Fox, well, it's going to come Fox News, Fox Sports. So you got
Well,
to do the FoxCo.
yeah, dude, and I was sitting right here the night we laid it out, got the LLC and everything, and I was like, man, I hope Fox Racing, the motocross people. I hope like you're really dancing with the devil. So there was like attorneys involved and shit. Like we're good. But,
Mm-hmm.
so they
Oh
got a
my
lot more
God.
money than me.
Yeah. So looking at your site,
Yeah.
and of course, the first thing I see is he makes customized license plates, and he's got this one that says corpse on it. So,
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah,
for that's my brother-in-law's Corvette.
is that what that is?
Yes. So, and I don't know that I should be saying this on here, but he'll get a kick out of it. He had a neighbor. He grew up the house he grew up in. He lives in now. His dad
Okay.
moved away, and he moved in, remodeled it, and everything. So he had the same neighbor for all these years, Kevin. And
Okay.
Kevin built hot rods. Well, Kevin
Yeah.
died in his sleep, and my brother's like, "Oh my god!" And we were a little tuned up one night. And he's like, "Do you think we should take that car for a ride at the Corvette?" And he's a Corvette freak, and I was like, "I mean, I'll go with you. Like, if we're going to jail,
Why
we're going to
not?
jail together." So he's not going to call anyone. He's gone. And so we took it out. And my sister was very pregnant and very irritated at the time. She threatened to call the cops on us for stealing a dead man's car. But his nickname was Corpse, and I don't know if it's because he smoked so much or how he got the nickname, but he loved drumming and he loved building hot rods. And then now my brother owns that car, so I made a vanity plate for him.
Well, there you go. So, that's cool. Now, you were talking. Obviously, you got into this because of welding. I mean, you talked about doing the stainless steel stuff. So, which my background, of course, I used to deal a lot in, done a lot. You talk about packing house stuff, of course. A lot of your packing house stuff, stainless steel.
Yep.
I used to deal with CW Suter. I was going to say they used to do a lot for beef products, IBP, Dakota City, and a lot of that stuff. So I mean, you talked about that, but pretty much any sort of welding, anything that you want someone to bring in and fabricate, you guys can do in house. So kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So right now we're still mostly everything you see come out of the shop is going to be your mild gauge steel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we can do stainless, aluminum, pretty much you name it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to get more into trailers and stuff going into the next year.
Yeah.
There's just such a huge market in that, and I feel like everybody's getting raped in what they're paying and then the product they're getting. And it looks like an amateur welder is doing it, and you're like, you're paying them how much an hour?
Yeah.
That's the sad part, and that's kind of why we got started. Was I just got mad? I started seeing the invoices going out because I was paying the bills, and
Mm-hmm.
it looked like a blind person. Like Helen Keller was in there welding it. If your joints here, it would like trailing off up and out, and it's like, and you're giving this guy that much an hour? Like,
you're paying $25 an hour to do that. I can teach my 10-year-old to
shit,
do that.
yeah, I've used that a few times with my nephew. I'm like, I could pay my 5-year-old nephew like 50 cents and some mo fish, and he could do better. I've had my wife come down and weld and just playing around with the MIG welder. And I was like, man, I could teach a monkey how to MIG weld in 5 minutes. And it's like, but these professionals, like, yeah, well, I normally TIG. And it's like, dude, you ain't TIGging. If you ain't MIGging, there's no way you're TIGging good.
Yeah. I've got a Miller welder, and it's a MIG TIG welder. And I do it so damn little that I hate to say it, but every time I do it, I gotta like take an hour to relearn how to weld, because the first time I'll do it is like I'm either too fast or too slow, or it's like, if you don't do it regular, you get out of habit, and I don't do it enough. I love doing it, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
I did a weld one day, and my one of my sons hated. He's like, you could have taught Hunter to do a lot better job than that did. I said, well, I didn't see you over here helping me, Smart ass Marine telling the Navy guy that he doesn't know his head from his ass. So. It's like, so what's in your shop? How many people you got working for you then? Is it just you? You talked about you and your wife. Do you have other people work for you, or how's that?
Yeah, everybody kind of dives in from time to time. So my counterpart at the shop is Chris. Chris owns the powder coating side of everything. So we also powder coat.
Okay.
But yeah, you have my wife who hops on AutoCAD, dude. She's a beast. And then she, like I said, when invoices aren't getting paid, she's an iron fist you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Tanner comes down, and Tanner will grind weld. He's just your Heinz 57 of people that you want around. And then our marketing manager, Reed Clausen, who is an absolute beast. And, I've had some other marketing companies reach out, and they're like, we'll take over your social media. We're going to make 8 posts a week. And I was like, that's way too much. We don't.
Yeah.
I won't have 8 pictures for you in a month.
Yeah.
To post. If it's personal, if I did business cards for you, since it has your name, your information, your company's name, even, if you want to post it and say where you got it from, I think that's on you. But I don't feel that that's our place to post your information out there. So I don't. So actually, what you see online is maybe, an eighth of what we're actually pumping out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, like I said, like I said, just kind of looking through. One question I got, because I'm selfish. I'm in HVAC business. So have you guys ever done anything like built roof curb fabrication? Because sometimes we get into stuff where we got to build platforms for stuff. We're sliding with your roof curb. You're talking 18, 20 gauge. Sheet metal. Sometimes you got to build a bracket. Do you guys get into that kind of stuff? It's not really specialty, but some people have done it. Some people haven't done it. I mean, I guess probably would that be a small project for you to build a roof curb?
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends on the length, the turnaround time, stuff like that. We've done handrails for mansions in Colorado.
Okay.
Or I think the project I got right now is just this older gentleman, Don, and his 5 little 10 by 8 plates with holes in it. So we're pretty wide, and we built a dump truck in 7 days last year. Just the bed of it, not like build an engine. But no. So yeah, I mean we'll do bigger stuff, but I don't think we've ever come across a project where we're like, holy shit, that's a big one.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the trailer business, and we've got into we started a plumbing business, and we've been talking about shoring equipment. We went to a class in Des Moines about shoring safety and all that, and they had a trailer set up, for shoring for your boards and for your jacks and all that stuff. And my brother-in-law works for a utility up in Spencer, Iowa, and he showed me what they do, because of course they're doing underground stuff all the time with it. So you talk about the trailer man. There's all kinds of like specialty. I'm sitting there like, okay, we could buy a trailer and do this, but as soon as you said it tonight, I'm like, I've got pictures of what this trailer looks like. I'm saying we should talk about this
Oh yeah.
because where you can fit your 8-foot boards, and then you have your spot for your jacks, and then you have your spot for your other components. So you pull up to a job site, you got to do shoring. Everything's right there. You can get it in, get it done, pull it out, and then have it on a safe place to do. So.
Yep, 100%. Ergonomics, that's where it's at. If you're saving time, man, you're saving money, and it's mostly anymore, I've realized, and I'm sure you do too, it's just time. There's not enough of it.
Yeah, there's only 24 in a day, and I can't duplicate myself. My sons are the closest thing to it, and I got one that works for me. The one I was just making fun of, actually, Aiden. But I've been told by more than one person he's like my twin, which Hunter's pretty close too, but he's just a young Marine out in Arizona. But I could sometimes I could duplicate myself, and I don't think I'd get everything done in 24-hour days. So,
oh yeah, a big problem with down at the shop, and maybe you came across this too, is all your buddies are like, hey, I got to change my oil. Is there any way I can stop down? And then they want to chat it up, and it's like, man, this. I don't come to your job and do this.
No,
you're not allowed to come here and do it.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine. You know what? If it's 7:00 at night, I'm sitting there drinking a beer in the shop. We can talk, but during working hours, I got shit to do. Get the hell out.
Oh yeah. Well, I have to. We typically work at night. That's by design, and yeah, you get a lot more unwanted attention as far as the zombies walking around. But during the day, I'm like a real estate agent. People will roll up and they're like, "So do you rent these out?" Like I own the entire place, and it's like, no. And then they're like, "Can I come in and see?" And it's like, no. Go away. There's like a 2 or 3 year waiting list to get in there. So no, I'm not.
Well, and I know there was I think one of the Macintosh. There's a couple different guys I know that've had stuff down there. Or some of them are heated, some of them aren't. I'm like, well, the unheated ones would suck at all.
We have two heated ones, and one of them's insulated. So condensation was a real mother last year. But yeah, this is, so now we're side by side, but temporarily it was the old budget battery. The powder coat moved over there briefly. And then moved back. So we were roommates again, and then he went next door, and then he was like, oh, the insulated one just came up. So then Chris went over and got that one. And so now me and him are working out of the insulated one, and all the sandblasting and that stuff happens in the original shop.
Oh, no shit.
So yeah, it was some hopping around, but we're getting dialed in.
Yeah. So with the powder coat and sandblasting stuff, obviously if you're talking trailers, building trailers, new stuff for a dump truck, do you guys, with that in a sandblasting powder coat, do you ever have people that want to bring stuff in and have it modified, and where you'll take the existing piece of machinery or equipment or a trailer or something? Do you do any existing, or is pretty much all your stuff new that you guys?
No, especially on the powder coating side. Chris and Larry's big push on that. They got these tire machines they do. I guess they run on trucks and they go out and do semi tires.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's sandblasting them, replacing the bushings, powder coating them, and then I don't know how many he's doing a week, to be honest with you. He tried to show me how to powder coat. I suck. There's just no getting around it.
Painting and drywall. I have a mother-in-law that's great at painting and drywall. If I need paint and drywall done, I call her. So I understand the powder coat.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, and he's like, it's easy. So you hook up this ground, you get it to this amps, and he's just got it all dialed in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a beast. And Abstract just sold out, I think, to Drake Williams, and that's actually how all this got started. The powder coat side was. I had Drake Williams doing my stuff, and they're great. Yeah. If you can wait. And if you don't mind having it done 2 or 3 times, and it just pissed him off. It just pissed him off, and he was just like, I mean, I've seen videos. I've always thought about doing it. I'll just, and he's a maniac. And then, next thing you know, a giant oven's getting delivered at the shop, and this crazy paint gun. I was just scratching my head. So we had a lot of fun nights down there while he was learning it. I'd make a sign and be like, I don't know, try it.
Yeah,
you fuck it up. we'll just blast it and do it again.
There you go. What the hell? You got the equipment. You got the equipment to do it.
It's an expensive hobby, to say the least.
Well, hey, listen, you're in a business. You have a lot of expensive hobbies. It's just, it's not really a hobby.
Yeah. Well, down there's so much fun. There's those nights we all come together, and we end up just sitting around bullshitting at the end of the night when it's all done, just like, man, what the hell just happened? Everything we touched, it just worked. And then there's other days you walk in, shit's already fucked up, and you just turn around and leave, and you're like, maybe tomorrow we'll try again.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen today. So, oh Lord. So now your wife, you and your wife are business partners. So you work down there, she works down there, or does she have another job that she does during the day?
Yep. She works for a company. She's retired military, and then ventured out and found another company to work with. So she's the head of HR for them.
Okay, and, so she's good at hiring and firing.
Yeah.
Although she can't fire you, right?
She's constantly trying, but I just won't leave. There's restraining orders. It's a whole thing.
It's all good. Jason Bailey's down there once a day, filed restraining orders. Here you go. Well, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. She's only saying that because she loves me.
There you go. It's a love-hate relationship. She loves to hate you. I get it. So my wife's the same way.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard to love. I'm a handful, to say the least. So, but no, she's been a powerhouse in all of this. And when I quit my sales job, I was just so fed up, and I'm just going to take a year off and heal. And it was actually her and my brother-in-law separately, completely separate. And they're like, you always talked about, when I broke my ankle, I was like, man, I'll just start my own shop. I was going to take a year off and just heal. And my buddy Chris called and he's like, hey, what are you doing? How's your new gig going? I said, quit. I think I'm going to take a year off. And he goes, well, what are you going to do? I was like, I just bought a welder and stuff. I'll probably just fart around in the garage and annoy my wife and neighbors. And he goes, well, you're not going to believe this. I just got access to that shop. Do you want to go halvesies on it? And then here we are, 2.5 years later.
It's kind of like when my son, he started the plumbing business, and he's like, he found out his wife's pregnant with twins, which they're due in like a week, 10 days.
Oh, nice.
So this is back last November, right after the Iowa, Nebraska. We're going to slow about this. 2 weeks later, we're down at A1 over in Omaha buying a $60,000 excavator. Well, so much for slow rolling this shit. Yeah, I guess we're buying that. I guess we're going all in. So
yeah, I actually meant to tell you congratulations on the plumbing side. That's awesome. You guys are doing that.
Yeah, it's here. I've had a plumbing license for a long time, and in 2001, I'm from Spencer, Iowa originally, so Northwest Iowa. I went back there, worked for a summer, and I did service plumbing. Absolutely hated it. So, because I'm an HVAC guy, sheet metal guy, and at that time I was like, oh hell no, I want nothing to do with it. But the last 5 years with AirServe, and AirServe's a franchise. I don't know if you know that or not, but last 4 years we've got more and more stuff. Water heaters, tankless. We're doing in-floor systems. We're doing, we're fixing toilets. We're fixing. I'm like, why the hell am I paying my franchise 7%? And everybody in my franchise that knows me, I don't care if you hear this or not. So, like, why the hell am I paying 7%? I don't like my franchise. I like the people, the owners that work that are franchise owners. I just don't like my franchise. I mean, I just have my reasons. Sure. And so I'm like, we're just like, we talked about this a year and a half ago. And so we just decided this spring, we worked on it in 2023. And so it's, we've started off and, we've already hired actually 2 people. We're hiring another person, and work is not a problem. I mean, you go and listen, there's a lot of good plumbers in Council Bluffs and Omaha. So sure. I'm not, but half of them are so damn busy, they don't pick up their damn phone.
Yep.
And so it's like, and so we got 2 people in the office, and we're actually looking at hiring somebody just for the plumbing side, just to be able to answer the phones. And so I'm actually, I've had to go dig up some sewer lines, and we've had to go do some, some different stuff. And it's like, I don't mind running the excavator. As long as I don't have to be, as long as I'm not going to be plunging a friggin' toilet or friggin' snaking a toilet, I'm your person. But I got guys that work for me that like to snake shit, and they like to freaking do the circling. And I'm like, you know what? If you enjoy doing that, fantastic. As long as I got to, we're good. So
yeah, you're gonna love the fuck out of today.
yeah, so we got 4 shitters that are backed up. So I was talking to a bar. I went to a retirement party last month down in Clorinda, Bank, Iowa. A friend of mine, Gilbert, retired. And there was actually a bar owner from Council Bluffs down there. We're talking about it. He says average to get a drain cleaner out to a site in Council Bluffs, if they ate a barge or anything, it's like 5 days. So if they got a plug sink or whatever, it's 5 days. So, if you don't mind getting a little bit dirty, there's more work than you know what to do with.
Yeah, shit is full, Clark.
Yeah, and here's the other part of it is, everyone thinks about, our government protects us. You know that, right? So, yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, we got little flush toilets, so we're trying to save the world. It's just like Elon and his electric cars. And,
the ones that catch on fire.
And, those. Yeah, oh, yeah. And $80,000 batteries, and we don't have the electric grid to support them. And but it was
well thought out. Yeah, it looked good in the news.
Yeah, looks good until it don't work. And they go, oh shit! China's building coal plants, and we're trying to do EVs. So I don't know. Not that I want to crazy the Chinese, but maybe they've got something figured out that
what I love is they have those self-driving semis now. Massive units, and they can't even get the gas pedal right on a Cybertruck. We should go back to the drawing board, boys.
Yeah, but yeah, when it comes to all this stuff, every toilet's got to be a low flush toilet.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago when they had high flush toilets, guess what? You didn't have half the septic problems because you know what? You drop a big turd, you drop something down the sink, you got enough water to push your shit down there.
Oh yeah.
You don't, and that's the thing. 20 years ago, I had Roto-Rooter. Now there's 40 different companies, and that's all they is. Well, wonder why. Well, we're saving the earth. We're using less water. But yeah, you know what? It costs $10,000 to dig up your sewer line because someone didn't slope it right or use 4 different types of pipe or whatever it is.
Oh,
it's just like, there's just a lot of stupidity out there. It's like, I don't know. And now with the other thing we'll run into and is in 2025, a lot of your utilities are looking at, or your water utilities, is a lot of your homes from the late 60s older had lead water lines running to the house. So everybody's heard of Flint, Michigan in the lead pipes. Well, Council Bluffs, Spencer, Iowa, you go anywhere in the country, it's happening. And the state of Iowa's got like $13 billion of money set aside for digging up lead water lines and replacing them from all copper from the street to the house. Now, think if you figure anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to do a line, because you got to deal with the street, you got to deal with any underground utilities, your locates, all that other stuff. Think about how many houses are older than 1960 Council Bluffs. You do the math. I mean, $13 billion will be a drop in the bucket before it's all said and done. So
yeah, they should have actually put more towards that instead of that fancy artwork on the interstate.
Oh, you mean the stuff I could get $3 a pound at Lakeside Car Lake because they pay cash?
Sure. I think they would have paid me to take it. I don't. I live right down the road from Walsh.
Okay.
Our lovely mayor, and it's we've had some encounters together. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the day when I see him out mowing next time with his electric mower. I'm gonna be like, hey Walsh, what the fuck actually is up with that crazy artwork?
Well, I know some people in the Bluffs Art Council, and I try to be politically correct, but it's just like.
Sure.
It's kind of like the trolley coming over to Council Bluffs. And they asked me, so what do you think about the trolley coming from Council Bluffs and Hunter Bluff? Hold on. I said, it just looks like homeless transportation to me because, I mean, out where I live, it's faster for me just to hop in my truck and drive to 15 minutes to Omaha than drive the 10 minutes into Council Bluffs to the Hunter Block, get on a train and another 10-minute trip to Omaha. But they're like, ooh, great. And it's going to cost us, what, $800 million, and it's going to be a homeless bus, essentially, is what it's going to be. So.
Move them around. They'll quit starting fires down by me.
There was Blast Services is on, what, 15th and Avenue J. I've done some stuff with them. Good guys, but their place is right on the backside of it's. I don't want to say Heartland Family Services, but they got that whole complex down there. And one day I stopped in there. I had to drop off some plans or something, and literally across the street there was 20 people laying in the grass, 6 Walmart carts, 2 Target carts, and I'm like, is this like a daily occurrence? He's like, oh, you don't even. They lock their doors because it's just like. They don't know, half the people that are going to show up and what they're going to do. And it's just, it's sad.
It is, 100%.
But, here's the deal. They'll go from Sierra Francis House in Omaha and they take the Ho Chi Minh Avenue G viaduct over to Heartland. And then when they can't get what they want, they'll go turn around and head right on back. And you talk to people on Avenue G and guess what? You go.
Yeah. I've had a number of encounters with them down at the shop. And we're right in between the city maintenance, and the South Expressway.
Oh, yeah.
And there was 40-foot planes, kind of like that, coming out of the tree line. So I called the cops, and no cops showed up, but a fire truck did. And some of the firefighters, when you just saw flashlights in the air and a lot of ruckus is all I'll say. And then they shined the floodlights down towards me, and one firefighter gives me the thumbs up. As all the people come out of the woods, like, no. Yeah, I called, but they're coming here. I don't have a truck full of guys. But yeah, they were a few of them were, holding their eyes and walking with a limp. I don't know. They probably fell trying to get out or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a sad state of affairs, but you just kind of.
Well, they got the PAR unit goes out there. I mean, there's so many resources, and it's just, do you want it? And I don't think any of them want it. When
it's cold, they want a foreign place to stay, and unfortunately, you hear park course. I'm a Navy veteran, and you hear about the. They had the red shirts, talk about, 22 suicide awareness and there's all kinds of, a lot of mental illness and listen, we all have our issues. I mean, I'm an Iowa fan. That's probably my issue if you talk to some people, but everybody has their issues. Unfortunately, but if you're not willing to help yourself, it's hard for anybody else to help you, Well,
you're talking to a wall at that point, and I've been surrounded by suicide my entire life, and it's the older I get, it's just like I don't know what you're going through, and I don't know why you feel like you couldn't talk to me. But it's just, I guess I hope on the other side you're happier or what. I don't know what it fixes. I'm more of like a long drawn out fighting kind of guy of just like. No, there's a problem. Let's get to the bottom of it and figure it the fuck out.
Well, my wife says you're either suicidal or homicidal. And my wife says, no, I'm not going to give it suicide. She goes, I'm going to shoot your ass. That's what she told me.
Oh,
and knowing my wife.
Bob, don't cut this out.
No, Travis's wife said that. And if anybody knows my wife, absolutely she said that.
Yeah, my wife's not far off. It's it'll be a murder suicide, I think.
Yeah, there you go. So, but so you've been doing this around for a while. Did you go to school, or are you just been kind of hands on, learned it?
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate in life as far as like my dad was an extremely intelligent businessman, but he was also helping grandpa in the floor covering business. So he's handy as hell and he's smart. And then mom was a powerhouse as a nurse. So again, another smart business savvy woman. And then my Uncle John, who, ran his own floor covering business. He branched off from grandpa. So I've been surrounded by talent And I tried every avenue, and I wasn't finding anything that worked. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, after Grandpa passed, it was like, well, just be something you're not meant to be good at. And I probably could have had a pretty successful floor covering business riding the coattails.
Yeah.
But this is something I solely did on my own. But
That
it was
business is
I
very
always
hard. That business is very hard on knees and backs. That everybody I
oh,
talked to for after years is just your knees are shot, your back shot. It's a great business. I mean,
oh yeah.
but it's well, anything. Unfortunately, anything where you got to use your hands can be physically demanding. But that's everybody I talked to. That's good for a long time. It's hard on your body. So
Oh yeah, I had a doctor laugh at me just a couple of years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, you're riddled with arthritis," and I just laughed. And he's like, "You think it's funny?" And I was like, "I mean, there's nothing else that's gonna fix this.
yeah,
It's
it's like
just
well,
it is what it is. We suck it up. We move forward."
yeah. Well, I could either sit down and take drugs, feel sorry for myself, or I get my ass up and get your ass to work because, I don't know. I like eating food and I like to drink and I like to have a nice place to live and, you know, arthritis or no arthritis, headache or no headache, hurt joints or no hurt joints. You know what? Don't I don't want Uncle Sam writing a big check for me.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, it's. I realize, mid 30s, like, yeah, it just feels like this when you wake up now, and
yeah,
every week you just, I don't know. Now when I wake up, I'm like kind of moving my feet and like my shoulder.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, that hurts today. That's a
Yeah,
new
it's
one.
good. Yeah. Well, first day I was ever on a job doing heat and air conditioning. This is back in 1990. Yeah, it's been 94. I worked for a company up Mason City. I actually went to college for HVAC. First day of job, he just says, "Remember this boot camp. If you're not bleeding, you're not working." And that's from an old guy, 30 years in the trade.
How many fingers did
Says
he have?
we had three. He had three on one hand, so he lost two. Had a few tetanus shots in his day. He's like the 80-year-old farmers, that are missing a knuckle here, then half the knuckle. What happened? Well, I got it pinched in the PTO when I was trying to do whatever, and and he just sucked it up today. Well, let's sew it on and just have it be immobile and be there and look good. It's like, nah, let's.
Yeah, just cauterize it and let's get on with our day.